And finally, we got the main event: Islam Makhachev taking on Arman Tsarukyan, and arguably the best rematch the UFC's ever done in terms of skill level. I mean, Islam had the rematch with Alex Volkanovski, so you can kind of even argue whether this is Islam's best rematch opponent, but whatever you want to say, this is an incredibly high level matchup. Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan 2. Islam, first time he was the big man on campus for sure in that fight. He had a lot of UFC fights. He was very well known. Arman Tsarukyan jumped in short notice, was a really young kid at that point, and first UFC fight ended up losing via decision, but he impressed a lot of people, and people kind of bookmarked him as someone to watch in the division going forward at that point. And man, I mean, everyone was right. Islam went on to win the title. Arman is now one of the best in the world, and they're going to be fighting again for the belt this time. And man, I think they both respect each other a lot, but they're confident they're going to beat each other, and it's going to be a high level matchup in the cage. But you look at how these guys match up. I think for Arman Tsarukyan, your game plan, I think, would be to try to keep it on the feet, keep it standing, man. Stay at distance, throw a lot of kicks, try to believe in your hands a little bit more, catch Islam as he tries to come forward with straight punches. Maybe you could knock him out. I feel like Arman has a lot of power in his hands. He just doesn't trust his boxing as much as he should. Like, you see him throwing these punches to set up his takedown sometimes, and they're just such baby punches. Like, he's not really trying to do much damage or do much with them, where I feel like if he really believed more in his stand-up, stayed at distance with Islam, threw a lot of kicks, forced Islam to close that distance, and then threw heat with his hands, tried to catch Islam as he's moving across the gap with some big straight punches, he could maybe catch and hurt Islam or knock him out or just keep him at bay and be the more explosive, better kicker from distance. But I feel like Arman, old habits die hard, and he's going to try to wrestle here. And if he does, I just don't think he's going to have any success taking down Islam. Islam, though, I think is going to struggle mightily to take down Arman as well. I mean, we saw that in the first fight between these two guys, but Islam kind of separated himself with the clinch takedowns in the first fight. He was able to get him down with some clinch takedowns, and I think that if Arman does give Islam the clinch here again, he's going to, one, land a lot of really nice knees, which Islam is good at, but also get takedowns in the clinch. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold Arman down, but I think that if anyone gets takedowns, it's going to be Islam. And in terms of boxing, if Arman gets in a boxing range and kind of doesn't throw the kicks as much as he should, Islam is going to have a gigantic advantage there. I mean, Islam has really good head movement, really good straight punches, southpaw, kind of Russian-style boxing. He is very loose. He throws combos. And obviously his head kick is nasty. I mean, and if you look at the stand-up between these two guys, I think it's a huge advantage for Islam there. I feel like Islam has proven himself to be one of the best stand-up fighters in the world at any weight class today. I do think he can kind of get a little, like, spasticky at certain points, but I don't think Arman's going to be the type of guy to bring that out of him. And if Arman comes in here and fights a really smart game plan where he keeps it at range, is using a lot of kicks, I think he could make this fight very competitive, because I don't think Islam is as good pressuring. He likes to counter strike and then time takedowns off the back foot as well. But I think Arman, he's not going to trust his kicks enough. He's going to end up trying to wrestle as well. He's going to close the distance. He's going to get clipped by big punches by Islam. I think that Islam is eventually going to be able to time the kicks too. Even if Arman comes with that kick-heavy game plan and is doing everything right, I still think Islam finds a way to win by eventually getting the timing on the kicks and countering them, landing big punches. And I just think Islam is the better striker. I think he has the better conditioning over 5 rounds. I feel like he's the bigger guy with superior wrestling also. So even though Arman, I think, has the power advantage. I think Arman has the better kicks. I think Arman can pretty much negate the top pressure of Islam and make it a stand-up fight. I just think he doesn't have enough to win this one. I think that Islam is going to get the job done. Kind of agree with the line. I think it could be a little closer. I don't know if Islam is necessarily like parlayable or bettable. If you got him at that original like minus 205 line, even all the way to like minus 275, I think you could probably parlay them up, but minus 370, the value's probably gone on Islam, but I think Islam's going to win that fight. I think he could win via knockout, so that's kind of where I'm leaning on that one. So if you look at Islam via knockout, that does have a pretty good juicy price tag on it, and he could win via decision too, so if you hedge with both, I think you're going to end up probably making some money, but I got Islam winning in that fight. And so there you have it, guys. It's a full card breakdown predictions video for UFC 311. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you learned something. And thanks for sticking around watching the channel. I think this was a good breakdown video. I think this is a really good card where there's going to be some upsets and there's going to be some really fun fights. And ultimately, for my parlay of the week for you guys, I'm going to give you a parlay of the week of Peyton Talbot, Jailton Almeida, and Renya Nakamura. So those three are going to be the parlay of the week. But I like some of these underdogs. Like I said, I think Ricky Turcios has some value. I think CDF has value. I think that Benio Dariush has value. I think Marab has value. So those guys I think are going to win as well. And yeah, man, go to patreon.com/prediction for extra content, help keep the channel going. There is a couple UAE Warrior shows going on this week. Next week, we got PFL coming back with an event, so stay locked in on Patreon. And we made some good money last week with the bet on Puna, so make sure to maybe tail some of these underdogs, see if you can make yourself some money, man. And thanks for watching this video. Hit the like button, put a comment down below, subscribe, and really appreciate everyone that helps with the algorithm by doing that. So, yeah, man, hit that like button, like I said, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.